welcome to the Jets Afterburners podcast. New York Jets stand 16 here. Liam over there, I think it's my right or my left, one of those. I always get confused. But the star of the show here. Now, you may know our special guest as the man himself, breaking the Aaron Rodgers news. How soon so many Jet fans forget. One of the legends, icons of pro football commentators, the great Trey Wingo.
Guys, how are you? Great to be back with you again. Everything all right?
Doing great. Glad to have you here, man.
Super Bowl or bust, right? Trey, I remember last year we were talking about the state of the Jets, and one of the questions that I had posed was, all right, look, the stakes are high. We're Super Bowl. This is it. What do you think about the state of the Jets? And you said something interesting. They're the Jets. And then all of a sudden, 4 weeks later, the same old Jets happened. And
they were the Jets again.
And I'm grabbing my head and I'm like, this can't be. This can't be Vinny Testaverde going all over again. But 1 year removed from this, do you have a sense that something's different at Florham?
I don't. I just I don't want to. I know that's an awful way to start the show, but I spent before I got to ESPN for where I was for 25 years, and now I'm with DraftKings, and we can talk about that whenever you want. I spent 6 years in St. Louis, and St. Louis is in Missouri, and Missouri is called the Show Me State, right? That's their big thing. Show me. Well, I've seen this act 100 times from the Jets, right? The Jets' one and only Super Bowl appearance and Super Bowl championship came in Super Bowl III, before man walked on the moon. And now we're all in on if Aaron Rodgers, coming off the torn ACL after 4 plays, or not torn ACL, sorry, the Achilles, coming off 4 plays before the torn Achilles, as a soon-to-be 41-year-old, is going to be the difference in making things for the Jets better. Well, here's my biggest issue, right? Like, as I said, the Jets, Super Bowl III, it was wonderful and everything's been great. So they have this history of not being able to get there.
Right.
So they bring in and make this trade for a quarterback who, if we're being honest about it, like if we're just being honest and looking at the numbers and looking at the data, he is without question a first ballot Hall of Famer. And you could argue was on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks in the NFL. If you're picking the top 4 quarterbacks to play in the NFL ever, it's completely fair to put Aaron Rodgers as one of the top 4. But what is the one bugaboo in Aaron Rodgers' resume? And it's the postseason. Yep. He started as the Packers quarterback in 2008. And under Aaron Rodgers, the Packers, with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, have a postseason record of 12-10, which is 2 games over 500. He has 4 one-and-dones, I believe, in his career in the postseason, including 2011, where they almost had a perfect season, and then they lost to the Giants, who won. I know this sucks for you guys. Went on the way to win their second Super Bowl over the Patriots in Super Bowl 46. So I find it kind of ironic or interesting or unrealistic that a franchise that has had all their issues of failing are looking to the one quarterback to change all of that, who has a history of failing in the postseason should they get there. So I'm not exactly sold on this marriage.
Gotcha.
Now, I have a question for you, Trey, real quick.
Yeah, man.
Staying on this Aaron Rodgers topic here. And to be 100% transparent, let's say the trade to the Jets didn't happen. He stays a Packer, or there was rumors a couple years ago about him going to the Titans, Denver Broncos a couple years ago.
49ers as well.
49ers. Yep. In your honest, humble opinion, do you think if Aaron Rodgers went to one of those said teams or stayed in Green Bay, and the same thing happened last year, 4 plays in, he tears his Achilles, do you think that the narrative about Aaron Rodgers is the same as it is compared to now that he's a New York Jet? Because for years, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's always been a lightning rod for attention. He's always been a polarizing figure.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like that Jets, that voodoo is around him. Oh, it's Aaron Rodgers. Oh, he's a New York Jet. Ugh, he's a New York Jet. Now, if he's a Packer, if he's a 49, is it still, Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old? How could he do it? He's old now. Or do you think it's more of like a Jet stigma?
Well, the Jets thing is clearly a part of this. Let's just be honest about it, right?
Right.
There's a reason the acronym or the phrase "just end the season" exists.
Just
Right.
enter the season this year, man.
Yeah,
You just got to throw it out there.
That is.
I get that. That's fair. That's fair. But again, I go back to what I talked about.
Right. No, yeah, you're right.
As-
100%.
As a starting quarterback in Green Bay, the Packers under Aaron Rodgers are 2 games over 500 in the postseason. Now let's juxtapose that to someone whose starting career as a quarterback was a decade after Patrick Mahomes, after Aaron Rodgers, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes started for the first time. Really, he had one start in 2017, last game of the regular season against the Denver Broncos when they already clinched the division. In 2018, he became the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Since he became the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs' record with Patrick Mahomes as their starting quarterback in the postseason is 15-3. 15-3, including games where he was down 24-0 in the divisional round against the Houston Texans. And all 3 Super Bowl wins, they were down by at least 10 points. And the Chiefs found a way to come back and win. So if I'm looking at this objectively and honestly and just empirically at the data, I have seen a quarterback 10 years after Aaron Rodgers entered the league find a way to be a much more successful quarterback in the postseason than Aaron Rodgers has been, whether he lost to Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers in a snowy game in the divisional round, or whether he lost to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in an NFC Championship game when they had them a warm weather team at home in a cold weather situation at Lambeau Field, or the year before where they went to San Francisco and Aaron Rodgers has said a million times, I look forward to making sure the 49ers regret the fact passing me in 2005 and taking Alex Smith instead of me in the 2005 draft. The Niners won an NFC Championship game against the Packers where they passed it, where they only passed it 8 times. 8 times because they ran the ball so successfully. And you can say, okay, well, that's about the defense. Well, that's fine. But I go back to the Patrick Mahomes model. They were down 24-0 to the Houston Texans, and they outscored them 51-7 to win that game by 20 points, 51-31. At the end of the day, whether you like it or not, at some point, that quarterback has to say, F it, I'm making sure we win this game. And that is the one knock on Aaron Rodgers' resume.
Right.
Like, it's there. It's not, this is not an opinion. This is not someone with a bias. This is someone looking at the data and says, for all the things that Aaron Rodgers has done well, and they are remarkable. I would argue that over the last 5 years in Green Bay, he was a better quarterback for the Packers than Tom Brady was for the Patriots. I believe that. But when push comes to shove, when it's the postseason and games are on the line, you need that quarterback sometimes to do magical things. And that's the one thing that's missing from Aaron Rodgers' resume.
Now, I wanted to add, we kind of alluded to it, the defensive aspect of this team, right? Like for the past 3 years, unfortunately, they've been dealt a really bad hand with horrible quarterback play. Now, the defense has been the bread and butter, the foundation of Robert Saleh's tenure here.
Yep.
They finally have someone, again, knock on wood, hopefully, if Rodgers stays healthy. Now, I understand the statistics of the playoffs, But wouldn't that be something where the defense sees a struggling quarterback, let's say in the playoffs, which they're used to, and they have to come to bat? Because at that point, we're not asking Aaron Rodgers to be MVP Rodgers, just average in certain moments where the defense can come in. Is the Jets defense ready to take that next level to take over games?
Yeah, they can, right? And I've heard people say to me, they give me this stat, Aaron Rodgers' record with the Green Bay Packers, and by the way, you know this from me, I'm not a believer that wins and losses are a quarterback stat. I believe teams win games, teams win championships.
Right.
But at some point, you need that quarterback to do something special, right? And I've heard people say, Aaron Rodgers' record is 81-10 in Green Bay when the Packers defense holds the opponents to 20 points or less. So, all right, but at some point, if that's not working, that quarterback has to say, you know what, screw it, we're doing it. And I go back to Patrick Mahomes as my example, 24-0 down to the Houston Texans. They had the lead at the half. That same year, they were down twice by 10 points to the Tennessee Titans in the AFC Championship game. They came back and won that game. Super Bowl 54, they were down by 10 points with 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, and they won that game by 11, 31-20. Tom Brady was down 28-3 in a Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons with 8+ minutes to play. Guess what happens? They win that game 34-28. All of that is fair and all of that is true. But at some point, if that quarterback is that guy, none of that matters. And he's got to find a way to put his team in a position to win games. And whatever it is, that has not been the thing for Aaron Rodgers in the postseason, despite whatever defense he doesn't or does have, that has been a problem.
Now, to flip it over to the offense, for what it's worth, do you think that this is the most talent he's had possibly ever around him in an offense?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I know
that's
he,
fair.
Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson. I know he's had weapons.
Yeah, I listen. I'm not going to say that Garrett Wilson is Jordy Nelson or Devontae Adams. Like
he's got to prove it.
Seen that? They got to prove it. But the weapons are there. The weapons are there. Breece Hall is an unbelievable running back if he stays healthy. We have Sauce Gardner. We have all these weapons on defense. But at the end of the day, it's got to mean something. Like you've got to put it together. You've got to all put it together. I'm not saying he can't. Okay.
Right.
I've seen the game against the Dallas Cowboys where he threw it to Cook, the tight end, Jared Cook, for that unbelievable catch to give them the game-winning field goal in that game in 2016. I've seen that, right? Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen it on the regular basis that you see it from Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or Joe Montana or any of these other quarterbacks that you want to look at. That's not opinion based. That's not hot take based. That's just looking at what the games are. Right. And Mark Murphy said this, the president of the Packers, a few years ago. Aaron, he's a complicated fella. He's a complicated fella. And then we have, to what you guys alluded to before we started taping, the athletic report that one unnamed, and it's fair, unnamed NFL agent said the Jets are a disaster. And it's because they've given Aaron all this power and they've tried to make him a team player, and that hasn't worked out. And we saw Robert Saleh trying to dance around the issue when there was a mandatory minicamp, and Aaron says, I'm not going to be there. And he ends up in Egypt, which, by the way, awesome. I would go to Egypt. I think it's great. I love that. I'm all for expanding your horizons and doing travel and all those kind of things. But if you're all in for the Jets, like you've been through the Brett Favres, you've been through the Chad Penningtons, the Ken O'Briens, all of these people, right? You've been through all of them. And this is the guy that's going to be the difference maker. There are things that he's doing and done that make you go, hold up for a second. Mm. And that's not hatred. That's not a bias. That's just an honest evaluation of where he is as a player and who he is as a player and what the Jets are as an organization.
Now, I want to piggyback on that, and I got to put
Yeah.
the Jets hat on, right?
Go
Because
ahead. I understand.
I got to
Hey.
stick up for the Jets fans and whatnot here. The thing is, to me, that Bleacher Report. To me, it was a little bit overblown, and let me elaborate. Now, there was a part in the article that says, "Has any one player ever had more power than him?" And I say yes. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. The
What's
Jets
Tom
are just
Brady's record in the playoffs?
yes, he is like above and beyond. I totally understand, but we're looking
And
at
to Peyton Manning's thing, right? Peyton
Right.
Manning, I think, has what is he, 9-8? No, he I think he has less wins. And even though I do not believe that wins and losses are a quarterback stat, but the NFL does, I think he has less wins than Patrick Mahomes. But Peyton has been to 4 Super Bowls and has won 2. And just like Tom Brady, they're the only 2 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks. Let's be clear, because I don't want to get people, oh, this guy won a ring. No, starting quarterbacks
right.
that have won a Super Bowl championship with 2 different teams. Aaron has been to one as a starting quarterback in Super Bowl 45, where they beat the Steelers 31-25. And whatever you want to think about Aaron and the things that he's done, it's kind of remarkable for as good as he's been that there's only been 1 Super Bowl appearance and only 1 Super Bowl win in all of those years in Green Bay.
I understand what you're saying, totally. But Jets Nation has been waiting for someone like this for quite a long time, and you can't fault Woody Johnson for trying to follow the same blueprint, right? Because we're looking at that report and we're saying, oh, Rodgers missed this mini camp. Yeah, but Brady, when he went to Tampa Bay, he missed 11 days of training camp, which is like 4 eclipses. And I get it, you're right, with the playoffs and whatnot, but still, he missed time. Now Rodgers is here, and now that also within that report, Rodgers comes in here. He wanted his wish list. Brady had a wish list as well. He wanted Gronk, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette. He even tried to pry Julian Edelman. Why is that such a negative? And then the more I read into
it's not a negative. But everything is looked through a prism of wins and losses, right?
It is.
I mean, that's the difference. There was a stretch where Tom Brady was more likely to appear in a conference championship game than it was for a quarterback to complete a pass. Like he was more likely, I think it was 69% of his career that Tom Brady appeared in a conference championship game than it was for a quarterback to complete a pass, which was down like 64 or 65%. So you say, okay, he's been to 10 Super Bowls and he won 7 of them and lost 3, 2 to the Giants and 1 to the Eagles. That's pretty good. Aaron has gotten his team to 1, despite the fact that he is, without question, in my opinion, a first ballot Hall of Famer who could be on the Mount Rushmore of the top 4 quarterbacks to ever play. So that's a big, it's like the Seinfeld episode. That's a big matzo ball hanging out there. Okay? That's a big matzo ball hanging out there. And if you know what, if it goes this way and the Jets find a way to get to the Super Bowl and win it, all of that goes away. It all goes away. Like John Elway. Let's look at John Elway, right?
Yep.
Hall of Famer, first ballot, no doubt. Franchise quarterback. He couldn't win until the last 2 years of his career, where he won back-to-back Super Bowls with the Denver Broncos. And that changed the narrative forever for John Elway. A lot of people, their memory or their thought process of Peyton Manning changed completely after he won his 2nd Super Bowl, which is ridiculous because in Super Bowl 50, Peyton Manning was probably the 17th best player on the Denver Broncos. Let's just be honest about it, right?
Right.
Like, he did enough, and there were a couple of throws. But as my friend Steve Smith, the wide receiver, said, he couldn't play dead in a Western for most of that year. Okay. But people look at him differently because he won that second Super Bowl. So history will judge Aaron Rodgers very differently if he finds a way to win a Super Bowl with the Jets. But if he doesn't, they're going to say, yeah, but. And that will always be the Aaron Rodgers conversation. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, he did all those things. Yeah, he won all those MVPs. But in the postseason, 12-10 and only one Super Bowl appearance and only one Super Bowl win.
Now, to kind of go back to what you were saying about the whole Egypt trip, because that was a really hot topic when there was nothing else to talk about, and it was low-hanging fruit.
Correct.
I really, and I'm sure you agree, I really don't think that Aaron Rodgers missing 2 days of mandatory minicamp is going to impact the season.
No, it's not. But the way the Jets chose to handle it made it a much bigger story. Let's be honest, right? Robert Saleh got up there, and what did he say? It's not excused, but we understand why he's not here. Like, if they had just said, hey, he had this thing, we're not worried about it, we're not concerned, Aaron Rodgers is going to be Aaron Rodgers, and that's not what they said, right? That's not how they delivered the message. And in so many situations, how you deliver the message is as important as the message itself. And the Jets did not handle that well.
So can we agree that the Jets handled that worse than Rodgers actually handled that? That's not really a Rodgers issue. That's more of a Robert Saleh press conference, no?
I would say it's a 50-50 issue. Like, I get it. And again, I want to go to Egypt.
Yeah,
I want to see the Sphinx. I want to see the pyramids. Don't schedule it when it's freaking mandatory minicamp. Like, that's not that hard.
But
like,
wait.
It's not that hard. Just say, these are the dates that I cannot go to Egypt, right? It's very simple. Whatever those dates are, and I don't want to hear, well, he had this. He's made enough money where it doesn't matter if he has to cancel those days and lose some money over missing mandatory minicamp. Okay, let's just be honest about it. Let's be completely honest. He's made more money than you and I together times 500 will ever make. So Correct. It's not about, oh, I have to go because I bought the tickets. No, you made a choice. Now stop. You made a choice.
Right.
You made a choice to make a vacation when everybody else was in on mandatory minicamp. And I'm sorry, but that sends a message. It sends a message to the team. It sends a message to everybody else in the locker room. So we can make all the excuses that we want, but at the end of the day, if it mattered to him, he would have been there.
Now, I'm going to try to tie these loose ends here. And this is all an inference. The one that gave me the idea was Liam off air. And again, these are just opinions. That's all it is. Now you have the season starting in less than a week and a half or whatever the case is for the Jets.
First Monday night game, they're in San Francisco. Yeah.
Everything's in cruise control. Everything's going well. Rodgers is coming back from an Achilles injury. The team is unified. Rodgers is doing everything right in spite of what you said with the minicamp, which, not for nothing, a lot of Jet fans are like, it's just a couple of days. It is what it is. And I understand it sends a bad message. Does it? Honestly, I think if the organization is fine with it, it is what it is. They're just going to hear that white noise and say, let's move on, because in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it matters. And I don't think Jet fans are going to hold up on that. Now, what I mean by tying up these loose ends, could it be that this NFL unknown agent is representing a possible Jets player who is holding out, throwing
100%
shade?
fair. 100% fair. But again, I would go back to, what was his reputation in Green Bay? What did Mark Murphy say? He's a complicated fella.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just, oh, this is happening with the Jets. It happened in Green Bay. Okay. And again, I hope for Jets who have lived with the just end the season thing forever. And it never works out, whether it's Brett Favre, Chad Pennington, Ken O'Brien, all of these things. I get it. I totally understand. But Aaron Rodgers is who he is. And that's never going to change.
Right.
So the question becomes, is that enough to take the Jets where they need to be? In not only a very stacked AFC East, but a very stacked AFC where you have a guy whom I believe, when it's all said and done, is going to be the greatest player in the history of the game, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Like, Patrick Mahomes just finished last year with the worst record of him as a starting quarterback. They led the league in wide receiver drops. His yards per attempt, worst in his career. And before the last game of the regular season, he texted his family and said, I've decided we're going to win the Super Bowl. That is the coldest text in the history of sports, okay? Not that we're going to get there or we have a chance to win. I've decided we're going to win the Super Bowl. And then what happened in the Super Bowl? There was one touchdown drive in that game. Yes, after the muff punt, he threw a touchdown pass to Marquez Valdes-Scantling, one play. They had one touchdown drive in that game.
Right.
It was in overtime when the Niners had already kicked a field goal and the Chiefs needed a touchdown to win. 4th and 1, scramble for Mahomes. First and 10 or second whatever, throws to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Dude runs freaking backwards for 11 yards. Creates a second 14 or whatever. Overcome that. Scramble again on 3rd and 1 for a first down. Then on first down, throws to Travis Kelce for a first down. Then on 1st and goal with time running out in the first quarter of overtime, hits Mecole Hardman.
We know that guy.
Touchdown. Yeah, exactly.
Nice guy. Nice guy. He talked a lot of nice things.
The point is, when it mattered most, that MFer said, it's on me, and I'm going to get it done. And for everything that Aaron Rodgers has done, you cannot look at him and say he's done that.
Trey,
not in the Super Bowl.
I got to be honest. Rodgers is in that.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
He's gonna prove you wrong this year. But not only that.
But what you're saying is he's going to, not that he has.
But he has a good, an excellent Hall of Fame resume. Like he has it in
the regular season. He's amazing.
But he's never had a defense, a top 3 defense. That's what I'm saying. Like again,
I will say to you, the greatest find a way to get it done. Down 24-0, down 10 in the AFC Championship game,
right.
Down 10 in all 3 Super Bowl wins. 15 said, I'm getting it done. And I love Aaron. But at the end of the day, until this point, as a 40-year-old quarterback,
right,
there is a large hole on his resume. That's just a fact.
There's also a fact in I think it was 2010 or 11, the Jets played the Packers on Halloween, and they were up 17-0, and Aaron Rodgers came back and won. But
that's a regular season game.
Yes,
right.
That's a regular season.
That's just one of those games that kind of haunts me.
It is, but it's a regular season game.
I have 900 of those.
You mentioned 2011, right? They were they almost went undefeated that year.
Correct.
And then they had the Giants at Lambeau Field as the number 1 seed, and they got their asses handed to them. That happened. It happened.
So, go ahead, Dan.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you can tell the passion that all these Jet fans, including us, that we have, and we're going to defend Aaron Rodgers to the bone.
As you should. I want to be clear. As you should. Because,
again, we haven't had that many glimpses of hope and great times as a Jet fan, right? It always spirals down into a whirlpool of some cesspool, and it sucks. But right now, everything is up on the table. And I just feel like what Joe Douglas did in this offseason, solidifying the offensive line, actually following the blueprint again of how to keep a 40-plus-year-old quarterback upright. The Broncos did it with Peyton. Tampa did it immediately with Tom. Now, with that being said, I want to start looking at Hassan Reddick, right? Because that to me was not handled.
Great question.
Not handled well, right? Because again, I brought it up, and it's not again to the chat. This is not to bash on the Jets, but only the Jets trade for a holdout, and then that holdout requests a trade. Now, again, I asked this question about like 5 minutes ago, but it just seems like the arrows are pointing to this NFL unknown agent because the season is here. We're getting there, very close. And it just seems like my opinion, this unnamed guy, it's the agent of Hassan. Just to throw shade, just to throw something.
And let's be clear, it might be. Like, I concede that completely. The only thing I would say to that, by the way, what are you drinking there?
Mate from Buenos Aires.
Beautiful. Love
Come
that.
on, my man.
Poland Spring.
World Cup champions, baby.
Grapefruit juice. I'm trying to avoid scurvy. The only thing I would say to that is all of this feeds into the narrative of Aaron Rodgers that goes back to Green Bay, right? Like, if this was like out of nowhere and it was, pick any quarterback. Well, he's never done this before. We never heard this kind of thing from him before. But look, guys, I was the one that reported if Randall Cobb wasn't signed, he's not going to the Jets. Okay. And sure enough, it took a Randall Cobb signing for him to go to the Jets. Aaron has been who he's been his entire career. And the unnamed agent report, I get it, and I understand why there's skepticism of it, but it doesn't take away from the narrative of everything that has gone along with Aaron during his entire NFL career. Again, as Mark Murphy said, he's a complicated fella. That wasn't a compliment. Okay? It wasn't a compliment.
That's my kind of complimented fella. That's my quarterback. That's our quarterback.
He's really good. He's really good.
He's
until push comes to shove.
Ooh.
Now, with that being said, I mean, he also gave back he took the largest pay cut in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure he maintained another $50 million. I mean, let's be honest about it. Okay. Like, yes, he took a pay cut, but like, for example, right. Let's look at the Green Bay Packers, right? Mm. He made sure he got every dollar he wanted, which cost the Packers Devontae Adams. That's just a fact. Okay. That's just a fact. And yes, he took this contract with the Jets and he took less money. I understand. But at the end of the day, he knows he's getting that on the back end. He's getting it. Like the money he gave up, he's still getting it.
Now, do you see, just switching gears again, because again, this trade for a pure pass rusher, the Jets have not had a pure pass rusher since John Abraham. Let's be clear, guys.
Correct.
I mean, yes, I love Jermaine Johnson.
That was the year, by the way. Would the Jets have 4 first-round picks that year?
Yeah. Anthony Beck,
Sean
Chad
Ellis,
Pennington,
John Abraham, Anthony Beck, and Chad Pennington. Like, can you imagine a day and age in the NFL we live in where a team has 4 first-round picks and has to pay for them all? Insane. Absolutely insane.
It was kind of parallel with Garrett Wilson, Sauce, Brees, and JJ. It was yes, I get it that Brees Hall was drafted in the second round, but it was very similar. Those 4 guys are studs. But now we go to Hassan Reddick, right? Do you see him playing a down for the New York Jets?
Okay, this is really interesting, right? Because I love Hassan Reddick.
Yep.
But Bryce Huff was awesome last year. He was awesome. And he was younger than Hassan Reddick. Right. So let me ask you guys, as Jets fans, let me ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Would you have rather had Bryce Huff for 3 more years or trade for Hassan Reddick?
At what we know now or before? Before he
Based
holds
on
out.
talent and age alone.
Huff.
Yep.
Huff. There's it, but again, you know what the crazy thing is right now, and again, don't kill me, guys. A lot of Jet fans say, "Oh yeah, Huff got all those sacks against second-tier players, second-tier linemen against bad competition." But the talent was there. It was our homegrown pass
Correct.
rusher. He was our guy.
Correct.
Now we have an enormous headache. And again, let's make things something straight. The Jets just got what, their 53-man roster. They kept 3 undrafted free agents, right?
Yep.
Pass rushers. At what point is Joe Douglas, because today's press conference, Joe Douglas did not seem himself. He didn't seem like, all right, you know what, let's get ready for the season.
Uncomfortable.
Very, very. And again, I don't know if it's because of that report with Bleacher Report. Do you feel that they're going to come to a compromise and say, all right, you know what, let's get this going. Hassan's camp is losing way too much money. We're not going to come to a resolution. Let's just make it a Super Bowl run and talk after the season.
Well, that would mean Hassan has to show up.
Yep.
Right? Like in that situation, Hassan has to be there. Do we know that's going to happen?
No, we don't know. I mean, last week we had on Connor Hughes, and he said Hassan has that kind of reputation where if he's not going to get his way, screw it. He's sitting out. And now as a Jet fan, I'm like, all right, where's our pure pass rusher? Where is it?
Yeah, it's a great question.
I have a question for you as well. And this question was asked last week, and it blew up. It actually got onto a couple like sports websites and such. Somebody in the comments asked it, so I'm going to ask you now. What is more likely? Hassan Reddick shows up and plays for the New York Jets, or Devontae Adams is the Jet by the trade deadline?
Well, Aaron Rodgers is the general manager.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, let's be honest. Like Aaron Rodgers is, I love Joe, but Aaron Rodgers is the general manager of the Jets.
And coach.
And coach. So I would say if he really wants Devontae Adams, he'll get Devontae Adams, right? He got Randall Cobb. He got all these other players that he wanted. He got them all, right? Whatever. And to that unnamed agent's report, like that was the thing. Whatever Aaron wanted, he got, right?
Right.
That was the thing. They ceded him so much power. And again, it goes back to like who you are as a person and the things that you are willing to invest in. You know, Patrick Mahomes is like the 10th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Okay. He's there are so many players, quarterbacks that are making more money than Patrick Mahomes because
he's also making $500 million.
Well, that's not actually true, but that's fine if you look at the contract. At the end of the day, that's not what motivates him. Okay? Like as soon as they won that second Super Bowl, what was the first thing he said? No one's ever gotten 3. I want 3. There are things that certain players are motivated by. And if it's money, good for you. Like I will never, ever throw shade at a player for wanting to make the most money possible because you have a short outside of quarterbacks, or especially Aaron, who's playing at soon to be 41, long career, make as much money as you possibly can. But if what really motivates you is something beyond money, then you will do whatever is necessary to make that happen. And he's a complicated fellow.
But doesn't Aaron
complicated fellow?
Well, hold on. I have can let me just throw something here.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm here for all of your questions.
How complicated is he to his teammates? What has any teammate with the New York Jets spoken out against him? That you've heard?
Well, okay, but like, okay, that's a loaded question. And here's why it's a loaded question. Because they went 7-10 without him, right? So they haven't had a season with anybody. I'm looking at the comments here. This is great.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Trey. I
is
told you.
fantastic.
I told you.
This is good. Like they think he's their savior.
Right.
Right? So until he's not their savior, of course that's what they're going to say. Look, winning is the ultimate deodorant in the NFL.
Correct.
That's my line. You'll put up with anything as long as you're winning. Terrell Owens in Philadelphia. As long as you're winning, it's good. Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. We love him until you start not winning, and then everything bothers you. So Aaron hasn't had a chance to play more than 4 snaps in a regular season game for the Jets. So of course they love him because he's a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot, as I said, Mount Rushmore Hall of Fame quarterback. But when it starts and maybe it goes south, then those things might change. But they don't have that right now because they only had him for 4 snaps a year ago.
Now, Trey, would you be okay? We have a great, excellent guy in the back right now, Connor Long from New York Flight podcast. Cool kid. Sure. He is like, once you talk to him, you're going to be like, holy smokes, why isn't he the host of this show? This is how good this kid is. You will be blown away. Even Rich Eisen.
Bring him in.
Had him on.
Yeah.
Connor, what's up, my man?
Dan, Liam, I can't thank you enough for letting me in here. Trey, it is so great to finally get to meet you. I've admired your work for so long. It's so great
Connor, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Of course, it's so great to see you got this new opportunity at DraftKings Sportsbook. I can't wait to see what you do over there. I just wanted to touch on some of the remarks you made there about Rodgers. Obviously, some fans are going to get a little controversial, as Jet fans seem to be. Okay, Rodgers is our guy. This is who we are riding with. You mentioned him being a regular season quarterback, only making it to 1 Super Bowl, winning that Super Bowl. Dan Marino, Pro Football Hall of Famer, among one of the best quarterbacks of all time. He never won a Super Bowl throughout his career. Drew Brees, another one of the greatest really quarterbacks of all time. He only won 1 Super Bowl. What makes those players, different in a different category rather than Rodgers, who's won 1 Super Bowl, compared to Brees, who's won 1 as well, and Marino's never won a Super Bowl? And then I have another question for you after that.
All right, Connor, thank you. I'll answer that question. I don't think there's any difference.
Can I just make an announcement for 2 seconds here? And Trey, thank you for allowing callers to come in. And if anybody else wants to come in, they're welcomed. Just
please do.
The only thing I ask, and me and Dan ask, is just please be respectful. You're getting booted if you get disrespect. That's all.
This is a family show, fellas. Family show.
Connor, you're absolutely right. Like, first of all, I'm not a ring counter. Like, you should know that. To me, teams win championship. Teams win games. Like, for as good as Patrick Mahomes is, if Mecole doesn't catch, if the line doesn't block, all those things don't matter, right? But at the end of the day, you just need to put yourself in a position to win. Like this is why I don't believe wins and losses are a quarterback stat.
Yes.
Josh Allen in 2021 threw a go-ahead touchdown with 13 seconds left in the regular season, or in the game, in a playoff game in the divisional round against the Chiefs, and they lost. What did Josh Allen do to create that loss? He did nothing. Okay, like the special teams blew it and the defense blew it, but somehow that's a loss that goes on Josh Allen's resume. That's ridiculous. It makes no sense. So to your point, there's really no difference between Drew Brees or Dan Marino or Aaron Rodgers. There isn't, because of the things that they've accomplished. But for example, here are the list of quarterbacks in the Super Bowl era that have multiple Super Bowl MVPs and multiple regular season MVPs. It's Tom Brady with 5 Super Bowl MVPs and 3 regular season MVPs and 22 seasons as a starter. It's Joe Montana with 2 Super Bowl MVPs and three Super Bowl MVPs and 2 Super Bowl MVPs in 16 seasons as a starter. And then there's Patrick Mahomes with 2 regular season MVPs and 3 Super Bowl MVPs in 6 seasons as a starter. Okay, those are outliers. They're different. They're in a different category. There's no difference between Drew Brees and Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers. But if you're asking me about what separates people, it's the idea that no matter what, when the shit's going sideways and your quarterback says, F it, we're winning the game, that's the thing that I need to see on a more consistent basis from Aaron Rodgers in the postseason.
Okay, yes, I agree with the statement you made there. And then one final question really quick. I know everyone's going crazy about this anonymous agent report. I know conclusions are being drawn. This is Hassan Reddick's agent. Quite frankly, it might be a player. Who knows? The Jets cut, obviously.
Right.
Roster
Sure.
just went from 90 players to now 53 players. Another report that came out from The Athletic, I put out a story about it yesterday. Mike Sando, The Athletic.
I love this guy. I put out a story about it.
I'm telling you.
Connor,
I
you're the best, brother.
I appreciate it, Trey. Yes, Mike Sando of The Athletic released his quarterback rankings, and Aaron Rodgers fell a tier in his rankings. And a head coach told Sando, "Hey, you could go back and watch those 4 plays before he got hurt. He didn't look good in those 4 plays." I mean, that's a crazy conclusion to draw off just 4 plays.
I would agree.
Four plays into the season. I know earlier on in the show, Liam mentioned Aaron Rodgers is a polarizing figure with this team. Dan also mentioned he's never played with a top 3 defense before. You have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, first player in Jets history to pass 1,000 yards throughout his first 2 years, while playing with 6 quarterbacks during that time. Today, Trey, when you look at the quarterbacks in the AFC East, obviously you have Tua Tagovailoa, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and then that Drake May, Jacoby Brissett is kind of out of the question over there. If you had to give your power rankings today, not out of the career of these respective players, today, where would you rank Aaron Rodgers among quarterbacks in the AFC East?
In the AFC East?
Yes.
I would put him number 2 behind Josh Allen.
Okay. Yeah, because I know.
Look, Tua and the Dolphins are great. They have 1 win last year against a team with a 500 record or better, and that was the Dallas Cowboys. We know the Dallas Cowboys are big-time chokers. So, the Dolphins last won a playoff game in the Mesozoic era. You know what I mean? So I'm not all in on Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins. So I would put Aaron Rodgers behind Josh Allen. And by the way, the ESPN survey that Josh Allen is the most overrated player. What are you talking about? That's ridiculous.
Trey,
that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
We go into these spaces, right, on X, and that comes up, and I'm just blown away. I'm like, I would take Josh Allen at any point. Come on, man. Not for nothing. A young quarterback. When's the last time? Was it? And again, we're talking about Mark Sanchez, right? I love Mark. I would love to talk to him. The Sanchez. I would love to have him on the show. But if I had to choose between Mark and Chad Pennington, right? If I had to choose, yes, 100%. So
I get
the Josh Allen argument. Give me Josh Allen. Oh, my gosh, man! Give me him now over a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I do
sorry.
not I'll give you another example. In the divisional round, with the Bills finally got the Chiefs on the road, right? They got them in Buffalo. Josh Allen delivered 4 or 5 strikes that his receivers just dropped.
Yes.
Whether it was Stephon Diggs, Khalil Shakur, they dropped great throws.
It's going to be even worse this year. I mean, you look Khalil Shakur's
with a brand new receiving core, right?
Khalil Shakur's
he drove him down for a game-tying field goal. Tyler Bass freaking missed it. Okay, that's not on Josh Allen. That has nothing to do with Josh Allen.
Yeah, that was very jet-like.
Yeah, you mentioned
It
Khalil.
was.
Definitely going to be a Jet soon.
You mentioned Khalil Shakur there. He's in line to be, a focal point of that offense, just given their current receiver room. I mean, the guy, yes, I get it. He's not been in the league for a long time, but I mean, he hasn't surpassed 740 yards throughout his career, and he's in line to be a top receiver. But Dan, Liam, Trey, I really appreciate you guys having me on here. Just one quick thing. You mentioned the Dolphins and Mark Sanchez. Here's a fun fact for you guys. Last time Dolphins won a playoff game, December 30th, 2000. Listen to this, guys. Mark Sanchez won more playoff games during his first 2 years in the league than the Dolphins have since Bill Clinton was president of the United States.
It's
Preach,
great,
baby.
Except that wins
Preach,
and
my
losses
man.
are not a quarterback stat. So, like Mark Sanchez was not the reason the Jets won those games. Let's be honest about it. It was the defense and the running game. So, that's a great stat, and it makes a lot of sense on a lot of levels. But Mark Sanchez was not the reason the Jets won those games.
I haven't seen a playoff game in my life. I haven't seen a Jets playoff game in my life. So anyway, and I don't care how the Jets get there. I've yet to see a Jets playoff game in my life. So anyway, the Jets could get there, I'll take that. But Dan, Lee, I really appreciate you having me on. And Trey, like I said, I've admired your work for so long. Thank you for letting me, on to ask you a few questions. And great luck with this new DraftKings opportunity.
Connor, I appreciate you. I appreciate your wisdom, and I appreciate your passion. And I hope that you have the best possible career you could ever have doing this, because you are clearly smart enough to have an amazing long journey in this market.
Trey, I appreciate it. Like I said, appreciate you having me on.
Salute, sir.
See ya.
Love you, Connor.
Love you, Dan. Liam, thank you,
Okay,
guys.
man. Have a good one.
Who is this guy? Chrome what's his name in the comments? Who is this guy? Like,
Connor, you want to stay on with us?
Hey, if you want me, I'd love
let's
to.
do it. Because I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna bring on.
So,
go ahead. I'm here for it.
Yeah, we're gonna bring
I'm
on.
here for it.
All right, yeah, we're gonna bring on BMAC. He was a little upset in the comments, so we're just reminding everyone to keep it respectful.
He's a little upset in the comments.
Oh boy.
BMAC, what's up, BMAC?
BMAC, the stage is yours.
What's up, guys? NYJD, right? 16, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think this is the first time us officially meeting each other. Love the show.
Yeah.
I'm a Packer Jet fan. You know what I mean? I jumped ship. I'm still a Packer fan, but I've the Jets on my second team because I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. Liam,
the cutoff was September 9th. So
yes, this is BMAC. Yeah, it's BMAC, not CMAC. CMAC.
Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to clarify there. Yeah.
And then Trey Wingo. Pleasure to getting to meet you too. I have a lot to say because that was a lot that you spewed there, man. A lot, and I wasn't really expecting it. Actually, I kind of was in a way because I have followed you, and you have been critical of Rodgers. Most, in my opinion, it might have to do with his off the field, not getting the vaccine, COVID thing, but
Well, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? We can talk about that. But you want to talk about football?
I don't want to talk about
it. You decide.
No,
what you want to talk about.
No. This is just football. This is just on the football on the field strictly.
Go for it.
Okay, so look, you have made valid points. Some valid points. I'm not gonna say all of them. Some valid points.
Okay, so stop right there. Which were the points that weren't valid?
About you saying that, look, I know Rodgers hasn't been perfect in the postseason. Nobody disputing that. I'm not disputing that. And as big of a Rodgers truther I am, a biggest Rodgers fan I am, I can sit up here and admit that there's times in the playoffs that he failed, that he should have done better, he should have done more. Like his last game against San Francisco, when we lost to Jimmy Garoppolo at home in snow the cold. You're the MVP. You know what I mean? You're supposed to score more than 10 points at home. It doesn't matter what your special it doesn't matter what your special teams did. You know what I mean? You are the guy. You are supposed to score more than 10 points at home, but the San Francisco 49ers offense didn't score a single offensive touchdown. That I will hold on him on. All right, and that is 100%
so again,
on him.
I'm asking you, what points have I made that aren't valid? Because you're sitting there validating all my points. So I'm waiting for the points that you said were not.
Well,
valid.
I do want to say no. Well, yeah, I'm going to, but keep cutting me off. We respectfully.
I'm not cutting you off. You have the entire forum. Go for it.
Okay, but to say that and look, there has been times in the playoffs that Rodgers has done his job, and the defense and special teams hasn't held up the end of the bargain. And you keep bringing up Tom Brady and that big comeback he had in the Super Bowl. Well, that second half of the Super Bowl, the defense didn't give up a score. Like they shut down the Falcons' offense the whole second half, and that's how Brady and then was able to make that horrendous comeback. And that was also a choke job by the Falcons and Kyle Shanahan. To me, Kyle Shanahan is overrated as a head coach. Well, we can go for that another time.
I think that's fair.
But
I think that's fair because he's had opportunities as an offensive coordinator and a head coach to close out Super Bowls, and he hasn't done it. I think that's fair.
But there's have times that Rodgers have put the team but there's one thing I want to call you out because you keep saying wins and losses are not a quarterback stat, but you killed Rodgers for losses that are outside of his control.
No. That's not accurate. There's nothing that's out of control for the quarterback. Okay, unless you're down 70 points, there's no situation where things are out of control. At some point in games, that guy who touches the ball on every play needs to be great, needs to be different. And again, I go back to Patrick Mahomes. 2018 was his first year as a starter. The Chiefs have 15 postseason wins since 2018. Aaron Rodgers, as a starting quarterback since 2008, a decade earlier, has 3 less postseason wins with the Packers.
To validate
what Chiefs?
So go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But why are you keeping what does Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs did in that time span have anything to do with Aaron Rodgers? People forget. Aaron Rodgers was Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes.
Do you want the answer? Down 24-0 in a divisional game. Outscored them 51-7. AFC Championship game, down twice by 10 points to the Titans. Won that game. Super Bowl 54, down 10 points to the 49ers, a better team. Won that game by 11. Super Bowl 57, down 10 points at the half to the Eagles. Won that game. Super Bowl 58, down 10 points to the 49ers. Won that game. That's the difference. Yeah,
and that's great. Yeah. And that lets you know how great. No, I'm not taking nothing away from Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes.
I don't understand what you're asking. Help me understand what you're asking.
But we say that Patrick Mahomes is on a different stratosphere. Like nobody's gonna be Patrick Mahomes. He's the new Tom Brady of this generation. Right. But what Patrick Mahomes did? How does that correlate to Aaron Rodgers when he's done in his career? That's what you keep connecting the two. Now,
BMAC.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm with Aaron Rodgers.
I'll do it. I'll connect it.
Right? Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The Jets as an organization have failed. Right? We can all say that.
Yes.
They failed. So all their chips are now in a guy, in Aaron Rodgers, who has not done what most quarterbacks with his skill level have accomplished in the postseason. That's it. The Jets as a franchise are saying, look, guys, we've never gotten it done since Super Bowl III. So we're putting all our chips in with a guy who at best has a checkered record in the postseason.
BMAC. This is exactly what Trey is saying. And it can't be any more accurate. This is the part as a Jet fan. Oh, one second. This is the part as a Jet fan. We have to look at it through the lens of an individual like Trey, objective. We got to take the green glasses off. We have to.
I love Aaron Rodgers. I want to be clear. First ballot Hall of Famer, top 4 quarterback, arguably in the history of the NFL. That's to me, like when Aaron Rodgers was with Green Bay, he was a better quarterback to me than Tom Brady was in New England. He was.
Now,
however,
mhm.
the postseason performances don't match up. That's not a wild take. It's not a
right.
It's not an opinion. These are not opinions. Okay.
Facts.
This is just looking at the data. This has nothing to do with I think this. This is what I have seen happen. I think he's tied for the second most one and dones in the postseason of any other quarterback in the Super Bowl era. Like that's not me making shit up. That's what it is, man. That's what it is.
Pretty much we've reached a certain point.
No, BMAC, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm sorry, because this is just a lot to take in, and I get it. Rodgers is a lightning rod. He's such like a tense guy to talk about and argue about, because whether you love him, you hate him, you defend him, you want to trash him, you know what I mean? And I think this is great, because it's great that we can have our own opinions and back and forth in these conversations.
But I'm not bringing opinions. It's important that you understand that. I'm not bringing opinions. Right. I'm bringing information.
That's right.
No. And I told you, and look, the facts are the facts. Look, he's 11-10 in the postseason. The facts are the facts. You can't hide from that.
You're shorted him one. He's 12-10.
Yeah. And look, I can't look. And like you said, when you compare him to the greatest of the greatest, like this is standard. This is a bar that you need to reach and accomplish. But I want to say this real quick, because you said that he's tied for the most one and dones, but again, you said wins are not a quarterback stat, and you given Josh Allen a pass because he had nothing to do with that loss against the Chiefs.
Correct. Because
the wide receivers dropped the ball.
Okay, so no, they didn't drop the ball. Well, that was the 2013 game where he scored a touchdown with 13 seconds left to play. 2021. Let me ask you a question. Okay, BMAC, let me ask you a question. How many times have you seen Aaron Rodgers in the postseason deliver late in the game and then the defense fails?
You're on.
Okay. Well, I could give you 3. Look, I watched every single playoff game in his career. I can give you 3 of them. Okay, well, the Seattle game, when they bunched the onside kick, he tied the game up on a torn calf and marched us downfield to kick the game time field goal. Didn't get the ball back. The Arizona Cardinals, when he had the back-to-back Hail Marys, that one pass to Jeff Janis.
Okay. So which game? The Arizona Cardinals game, or the one where he threw the pick 6 to end the postseason game?
No. The Cardinals game when he threw the back-to-back Hail Marys to Jeff Janis on 4th and 20 from his own end zone. And
unbelievable.
And then threw another Hail Mary to tie the game. Didn't get the ball back in overtime. And the Dallas Cowboy game, that throw to Jared Cook.
We talked about the Jared Cook game, absolutely.
Got us in
but we all know the Cowboys are chokers.
Like Rodgers had spectacular.
But we all know the Cowboys are chokers, right? We know that, right?
Yes, we do.
Been to a conference championship game since they won Super Bowl 30, right?
Yep.
And
I know it.
And we know that the 49ers are chokers, so we shouldn't give Patrick Mahomes credit then for those comebacks.
Really?
If you can say, well, the Cowboys are chokers, right? Oh, well, okay, well, let's not give Rodgers credit for that. Then we shouldn't say that the Niners are chokers.
They spit the bit.
Kyle Shanahan is known for being a choker. So those wins by Patrick Mahomes don't count.
With me saying that, we started this conversation with me saying that, right?
Yes,
I believe so. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Now, BMAC, listen, we thank you immensely, man, for coming on. I've watched you on Jake Asman. You always drop the heat there, man, and we appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks.
You got it.
No.
I appreciate
with
you.
Go ahead, Trey.
Before I go,
I don't know who's going.
B-Mac wants to say one more thing. Go ahead. Go for it.
All right. Thanks for y'all having me on. Love you guys. All three of you. Trey Wingo, I respect the hell out of you, man, but I just think you're wrong when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. And one thing before I go.
The numbers are what the numbers are.
Oh, one thing before I go. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers' fault that he got hurt on the 4th play of the year. It just happened.
I didn't say that. I never said that was his fault.
Can I play devil advocate here? Can I play devil's advocate?
I didn't say that it was his fault.
And I'm a Jets fan, obviously.
Yeah.
You are?
Brees Hall was I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Brees Hall was open on the check down there. Why he didn't throw it, I don't know.
Oh,
have you seen that?
He got hurt?
Yes. I think that was 100% his fault.
Now,
just to be fair, don't kill me for this.
Going into last season was, let's be honest, the one thing going into last season was the Jets didn't address the offensive line.
yes,
Right?
correct, exactly.
The chop block.
They did this offseason, though. They added They added eight-time All-Pro left tackle Tyron Smith, 3 new starters. I know we felt so comfortable going into last year with the current surrounding Rodgers. Now, I mean, this roster is so strong entering 2024. I know Jet fans felt so confident entering last year, but this is even a stronger supporting cast. Even like adding eight-time All-Pro Tyron Smith,
should be.
Mike Williams. I mean, this is as good as it's going to get for Aaron Rodgers.
Now I'd like to bring on Ann, who is a huge Saints fan.
Ooh.
And
welcome
the
in,
reason
Ann.
why welcome in, we were dialoguing a little bit off air, and one of the big things with Jet fans is, did the Jets make the right decision with Aaron Rodgers over Derek Carr? Someone young, but now the Saints have Derek Carr. How do you look at that dynamic as well? Ann, welcome to the show. Oh, hello.
Ann, speak.
You're on.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Oh,
2
great.
thumbs up.
I'm having a really hard time hearing you guys. There's so much echo.
Sorry.
Well, there's nothing we can do about that. So
That's all on my end. I'm actually going to drop and put my question in the chat so that I can hear you.
No worries.
Sorry about that. Next time I'll get it handled.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care, Ann.
Have a nice day.
So, I
Her
mean,
effort was there.
the effort was there. So that's the thing, right? I mean, as you could see with the chat, Trey, Jet fans, as you already know, you don't even need me to say it. We're so passionate, and it's like everything is set up just like it was last year. And that's why, your perspectives and your views, I look at it, and I'm trying to look at it through your lens as well, because you have nailed it. I mean, a lot of times we are Jet fans. Come this time of the season, we're winning it all. And it doesn't matter if Rodgers was the quarterback or Glenn Foley is starting week 1 against San Francisco in 98. We're winning the whole thing. And again, I think that's for all 32 teams, right? All these fans, they're all invested. Draft season, the free agency classes and whatnot. We're here. And it's so tangible to even fathom. Again, it blows my mind just even thinking of the Jets winning a Super Bowl or just winning the AFC Championship game. Like, we've been to the dance. We've been too close to the dance. We dance with like the Queen just for a little bit, and then we get dumped against Denver, against the Colts, and then against the Steelers in the AFC Championship games. Is there a point? I gotta dive into your mind, Trey, like deep in there, like Inception style. There's gotta be a speck in there where you see the Jets at least making it to the Super Bowl.
Look, the AFC is loaded, right? Let's be honest. Name the top 5 quarterbacks in the AFC, and then do the top 5 in the NFC. Mm-hmm. By the way, Ann, thank you very much. Congrats on the new gig.
Connor's about to give you the top 5 in a second. He's thinking about it.
Right. The point is the difference in the look. I've been covering this for a lot of years, and I've been a football fan for even longer. I don't know if I've ever seen a greater disparity in top quarterback play between the two conferences, between the AFC and the NFC. Mm-hmm. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Jackson, just at the top. Forget
Right.
Tua, Aaron. Look at the top quarterbacks in the AFC, and then look at the top quarterbacks in the NFC. I mean, it is a giant difference. Cousins in the NFC, Dak, Jalen Hurts, Brock
The choker.
Purdy,
Jared
Yeah.
Goff, Matthew
Jared. Right.
Yeah.
It is a giant. There's a Grand Canyon chasm between the top quarterbacks in the AFC
Right.
and the top quarterbacks in the NFC. And I'm old enough to remember when the NFC won 14 straight Super Bowls. And
Jeez.
I'm not sure that the difference in top quarterback play is bigger now than it was during that run. So when you ask me if there's a chance yes, there's obviously a chance, but my God, there are so many good quarterbacks in the AFC that it's going to be exceedingly difficult for the Jets to get there.
If you had to give a scale 1 to 10, 10 being going, what are your odds of them going?
Well, first of all, what are their odds of them winning the division? Let's start there.
They jumped the Bills.
Because
They're actually the favorite to win the AFC East right now.
Well, that's on money coming into the books, right? Let's be honest. That's on whales. Like whales are behind the Jets. Where are most whales located? New York, right? Like that's where a lot of big money comes in from New York. I will still take the Bills as the favorite to win that division.
Wow.
I would put the Jets in a dogfight with the Dolphins for second place in that division. So now we're talking about a wild card team. I think clearly the Chiefs are going to win that division again, the AFC West. The AFC North is a dogfight, right? Like the Bengals were 9-8 last year without Joe Burrow.
That division's so good.
It's stacked. It's absolutely stacked. By the way, side note, I do not understand why Mike Tomlin is betting on Russell Wilson over Justin Fields. I don't get it.
I mean, Mike
don't
Tomlin
get
though,
it.
he's such a good. I mean, we look at what Mike Tomlin has done. I mean, these past 2 years, he's been able to take teams, led by Kenny Pickett, to playoff appearances. That just goes to show how much
They
how
they
good
got
a
a
coach he
team
is.
to the playoffs with a guy named Duck Hodges playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay? Like,
Can
that's
we answer
geez, I
this? This
forgot
was
about
Anne's
that.
question that her
Yeah.
audio. Her question to you is, my Saints question is, who is our starting quarterback in Week 10? So
great
you got to look
question,
into the
and
future. I hope you have your.
nobody actually knows.
Bobby
Let's
Hebert.
just be honest. No, did you say Bobby Hebert? Did you say Bobby Hebert? That was
Herbert.
awesome. Good for you.
I love
Bobby
the Cajun.
Hebert.
He's the
Oh
best.
my God.
He's the
That's
man.
fantastic.
He
Nobody
talks like Gambit.
Yeah, I love Derek Carr, but yeah, it hasn't been great for him in New Orleans. Let's just be clear.
I don't know, man. It's just it's to the point where we want the season to start. All the speculation. I mean, Trey, you brought the Heat tonight. 100%, and we just got to say thanks, man. Again, you're a complete stud. Just for coming on again, it means everything to us. So we appreciate you, man.
Look, this has been great, and I really appreciate even the hate in the comments from that one guy. I get it. I understand. Like,
We're a passionate
you guys
group.
haven't won anything
That's
since
right.
before men walked on the moon. I get it. I understand. One of my best friends at ESPN, one of my best friends who runs the NFL over there, is a diehard Jets fan. And when they were going to back-to-back AFC championship games under the Mark Sanchez era, I said, if they go to the Super Bowl, I got you, because there's nothing better than seeing your team win it all. And I've had that glory. I grew up a Cowboys fan, so I took my dad to all 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. Awesome.
Good
and
for
then
you,
my
man.
son grew up a Peyton Manning fan, and I was able to take him to a Super Bowl where they won. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Jets fans deserve this. They've been so long suffering. I hope it happens. I really do. But if I'm being honest about it, and this is you, at the end of the day, you want people to be honest with you, right? I don't see any way in hell that the Chiefs with 15 aren't winning a 3rd straight Super Bowl. Last year, They led the league in drops by receivers. Patrick Mahomes had his worst yards per attempt of his career.
Mm-hmm.
They won the fewest regular season games at 11-6. They had to go on the road after the wild card round.
Right.
One in Buffalo, one in Baltimore, and one in San Francisco against a better team, top to bottom. I still think San Francisco, top to bottom, 1 through 53, is the best roster in football. Like I believe that. But that dude, he's different. He's cut different. Like that text, I've decided we're going to win the Super Bowl.
What a beast.
I want to
he's
compare
insane.
that text to Rogers' text with Adam Schefter. Lose my number.
No. Nice try. Lose my number.
Nice
Love
try.
Nice
Lose my number.
try. Lose my number.
That's a cold
one of the
text.
greatest. And I love that Aaron put that out. I mean, I love that Adam put that out there. I love that Adam put that
Yeah.
out there. Nice try. Lose my number. Nice try, bro. I think it was. Lose my number.
Yeah.
So, look, Aaron is an all-timer. Like, I want to be clear about this. There's no debate. Like, he's going in first ballot. If you want to make the top 4 quarterbacks in NFL history, if Aaron Rodgers is on there, I can't argue with it. 12-10, 15-3.
He's going to be 16-10.
If you want to be he might be. And if he is, all of this goes away.
I
right?
love it, Dan.
Like, for all of the things that John Elway, right? When all those Super Bowls, lost to the Giants 39-20 in Super Bowl 21, right? Got blown out by the then Washington Redskins 42-10, where they scored 35 points in the second quarter, right?
Unreal.
55-10 to Joe Montana a couple of years later in Super Bowl 24, right? His entire narrative of his career flipped over the last 2 years of his career when they won Super Bowls 32 and Super Bowls 33. Like, that changed the John Elway narrative forever. And if Aaron Rodgers this year joins Peyton Manning and Tom Brady as the only 3 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to win 2 Super Bowls as a starting quarterback with 2 different teams, we're having a completely different discussion. We're having a completely different discussion. It puts away everything. But it's going to be exceedingly difficult knowing that 15 exists and the AFC is that deep.
So the last question I'll ask you real quick is, what are your expectations for Aaron Rodgers this year and the Jets, I guess?
If he's healthy,
Yes.
off the charts good. Off the charts good.
You don't think the age is going to catch up with him and the Achilles injury is going to play a big factor, or?
Well, that's where if is healthy comes in, right?
Yeah.
I don't
True.
know.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, I take a Zen philosopher approach to every season, right?
Okay.
Like last year, the Texans went in the year before they were 2-15, right? Rookie
roughly,
quarterback, rookie head coach, 10-7, win the division, win a playoff game. Every year, somebody does that. Every year, somebody does that in the NFL. They go from worst to first. So my expectations for Aaron Rodgers, if he's still Aaron Rodgers, and we don't know that. We don't know that, right? Go back to his last year in Green Bay. It was okay. It wasn't.
I mean, he's still, if you look at his PFF numbers in terms of, I mean, those are still top 7 and top 10 stat lines there.
Connor.
I mean, for example, when I was putting out that story for the quarterback rankings that Mike Sando generated, where Rodgers dropped down to tier 2, I believe it was. I was generating his stats from the 2022 year that people were saying, "Oh my God, this was a poor season," and it was up to Rodgers standards. But still, I mean, these are rankings among top 7, top 10 level. My thought process is, if the Jets could get Rodgers to the level where he is a top 12 to top 15 quarterback in the NFL, the Jets are a playoff team, no question. Then, if the Jets get top 5, top 8 Aaron Rodgers, the Jets are in contention for the AFC Championship. I'm just like that is how I view how the Jets' outlook is.
Rodgers also had a broken thumb with that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree, but we got to see it. Like my philosophy is from the movie Charlie Wilson's War. As the Zen philosopher says, we'll see.
We'll see.
Everybody thinks
Right.
they know. Nobody knows anything.
That's right.
So, well, that's not correct. I know one thing. Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Wow.
Wow, you're right in that train.
Wow.
He is.
I've been there.
He
I've
is.
been there since okay, 2018, his first year as a starter, 50 touchdown passes.
Oh my God.
Tom Brady
Crazy.
and Peyton Manning took 7-8 years to do that. All right, and again, I'll go back to this again. Super Bowl era. There are only 3 quarterbacks with multiple Super Bowl and regular season MVPs. Patrick Mahomes has those in 6 seasons as a starter. It took Joe Montana 16 seasons. It took Tom Brady 22 seasons to pull that off.
Wow.
This dude is different. He's just different.
Again, Brady has been our daddy for a very long time. And to say that with Mahomes, that this is, and again, this is all based off trajectory, right? Like if it continues on. But again, Brady, just the mere fact of the argument of, Brady can't win anything without Belichick. The moment he went to Tampa Bay, that changed right away, right? Like, would Mahomes win a Super Bowl going with another team? We wouldn't know that, right? Like, to me, Brady is, man, at the top. That's why I hear that a lot. I hear that, Mahomes, when it's all said and done, he's going to be better than Brady. Dang, that's 7 Super Bowls. And I get Mahomes got, 3 right now, right? That's, if he's healthy, it's a possibility. But again, these defensive coordinators, they catch up. And Mahomes is a runner. Brady was not a runner. So he saved a lot of those hits as well that saved them in the long run. And kind of piggybacking off of that same Aaron Rodgers last year in Green Bay, to me, it kind of paralleled with Brady's last year with the Pats. There was a lot of side dramas, and you kind of saw that the passion kind of dropped, but it kind of revitalized when he went with Tampa Bay. I kind of see the same thing with Aaron Rodgers with the Jets.
Well, that's my when Tom Brady. By the way, Tom Brady either needs to come back or shut up. Right? Let's be honest about that.
Yes.
Oh, these young kids, then do it.
Do it.
Do it, or stop talking about it. I'm so sick of him saying I can still. Then do it, or just take the Fox money and make your $37 million a year and be quiet. Because at the end of the day, when he said all these young bucks are, they're all about their brand. Dude, you shoved TB12 and Alex Guerrero into the Patriots locker room. What are you talking about?
Oh my
you
goodness.
Hypocrite. That's
Absolutely.
the most hypocritical thing of all time.
Yes.
All time.
I don't like Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
I don't like him either.
Not
Hey,
a
did
fan.
you hear what he said about the
but if
Jets?
he played for the Jets, you'd freaking
You're damn right. You're
Yes.
damn right. You're damn right.
Green
Did you guys
Dog
hear what he
was
said
back
about
on.
Did you guys hear what he said about the Jets the other day in the fan base? How the Jet fans should be excited and this should be a big year for the New York
No,
Jets?
witchcraft. That's witchcraft. I don't believe it. That's straight up voodoo.
Yeah, he's waiting to go, ha ha, psych.
Right, exactly. I don't believe him.
Tom is about Tom. Let's be
Yep.
clear.
Yep.
I mean, you
All right.
mentioned it, missing all that training camp time. That's all you got to know.
He missed.
He was also in the midst of a
Wednesday
divorce,
install
too.
games as last year as he played. Wednesday was the day you're supposed to show up for the game plan, and he was like, "Nah, I need that day off."
Well, I think he was in the middle of a divorce too, so
Well,
might have had court that day.
Choose.
Those
Yeah.
hurt.
Choose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'll divorce you later. For
But
now, we'll just sleep in separate rooms.
I think if he would have beat the Rams, I think honestly he would have won his 2nd straight Super Bowl. He's an animal. They don't build quarterbacks like that. Like Brady. In my opinion, if he would have beat the Rams, that I think it was
He
the
did beat
NFC.
Rams. What are you talking about?
No. The last year that he played, didn't the Rams win and then they won the Super Bowl against the Bengals?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, that game where
That one.
Matthew Stafford hit Cooper Kupp late in that game to set up Brian Gabe with the game-winning field goal. Yeah, got it.
In my opinion, I mean, Brady he's always had it. And I think, honestly, if he steps onto the field even right now at his age, he'd win another one. Like that. That's just to me. He's
That is just
sick.
you. That's
He's
just
sick.
playing with?
He's sick.
Who's he?
He's
playing
amazing.
with? My question to that, like, let's be honest about the Tom Brady Tampa Bay experience. Okay. He left New England. His last play as a New England Patriot was a pick six in the playoff game with Logan Ryan, his former teammate. Yep. So he goes to a Tampa Bay team that had a 30-30 quarterback in Jameis Winston, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. Right. He had Godwin. They had Mike Evans. They had all of these weapons, and he brings in Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown. Bro, come on. Come on. Like, that team was set up for success.
I mean, Rodgers has Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, soon to be Devontae Adams.
Not the same. Not the same.
We'll talk after the season. We'll see.
Let's talk after week 5. It could be week 5. Right?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Trey, listen, man, we want to just thank you so much for this tremendous opportunity, your wisdom, and you kill it. I mean,
Absolutely.
Your acumen on all this is just it's crazy. You know, just watching
data,
on NFL Live and all that.
I
back
appreciate
in the day.
that, but like, data to me matters. Hot takes do not. I do not care for opinions. I do not care for what you think. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at data. I'm looking at numbers. That's all that matters to me.
I hear that,
your data hurt me just as a Jets fan.
Yes,
but I do respect the hell out of you,
also,
man.
let's just throw gas on the fire. Joe Namath, come on, most overrated quarterback in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, no.
I mean, yeah.
Tied with Bob Greasy.
Oh,
all right.
Damn,
you're not doing yourself any favors here, Trey.
You got to mix the Dolphins and the Jets together. You know how much we hate each other.
He's just poking us now.
Yeah, man.
Don't make me call B back.
What the numbers are.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Trey, we thank you so much, man. I mean, honestly, appreciate it. Keep on slaying it. Keep on killing it, man. We respect you always.
Connor, obviously, guys appreciate Connor. Dude, you're the future. Keep it going.
I appreciate it.
And listen, the passion is what drives people in this business. If you don't have passion, you'll never succeed. So keep the passion always. All right.
I appreciate it, Trey.
Trey, is there any chance that I could get a Jets chant before you head out?
Jets, Jets. Let's
Love it, Trey.
Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
All right, man. Be good. See you.
Be good. Later.
Thank you, Trey.
All right, man. That was great. Excellent. Everybody, I mean, in the chat, I get it. We're passionate. We love this. This is it. This is what it's all about right here. You know, we need to just throw it all on the field right now, all on the table. The season starts. Shoot, what, in a week and a half?
11
Fellas,
days.
You believe it? It's here. It's here. We play against the San Francisco 49ers out west, Aaron Rodgers' backyard. We start the season 1-0, man. I'm sorry, green color glasses, I can't see through it, and that's all I want to see because we're winning the whole thing. We have to be that passionate. Connor,
yeah,
you killed it, dude. You killed it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, that was what I was going to say when Trey was leaving, but then I realized the show wasn't ending, so now I have time. But like I said, you know, I really appreciate you guys having me on here. This was awesome. You know, Trey Wingo is you know, a huge name, obviously, been with a long time at ESPN. Now he's starting this new opportunity at DraftKings Sportsbook, and really appreciate you guys bringing me on. And perfect timing. I actually have to go to a show at 10:35, so I appreciate it.
Wow. Right. Good stuff, man.
Where are you going to be at 10:35, Connor?
Proud New York Jet fan, Nick Shine.
Nick Shine. All right.
Yep.
Our guy.
Yep.
I'm going to stop in.
Love it. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great night.
All right. You too, brother.
Man. That was, and then there was 2. I thought that went well. And again, my whole thing with our interview was the possibility that the one throwing bombs right before the season starts is Hassan Reddick's agent. Let's cut through.
We had spoken
the nonsense.
about that. Yep.
We spoke about it, and you know, Trey's not denying it. You know, he's in the know. So to me, that's the guy. Like, what else is going wrong with it? Like, you look at the Jets right now. That started training camp. There's no drama. There's nothing like that besides Hassan Reddick. And of course, he's not getting his deal, and the agent wants to start some nonsense. Calls up. Again, this is my opinion, not fact. Straight up speculation. I think it's him. I think it's him throwing things that just to mess us up, man. And I think that locker room is so focused. The Jets
The
are like,
other
you know
reason. Yep. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
No, it's just I feel they're so laser focused and they cannot wait to fly out west. They can't. They just can't. Rodgers is fully healthy. Got Garrett Wilson sporting the 5, making tremendous catches. You look at him running routes, he's in mid-season form. Brees Hall, straight up, banked healthy, amazing. Then you got all these, again, it's going to be run heavy as well. I mean, they decided to keep 4 running backs. Izzy is my guy, man. I think Izzy's going to have that kind of multi-dimensional factor beyond the other running backs. And you have our tight end group ready to roll, man. And then, come on, man, what gets overshadowed is our defense. Our defense, man. Come on, let's not forget that. I'm stoked, man. Go for it, Liam. Kill it.
The last thing I wanted to touch on with Reddick, and it kind of got me thinking a little bit that maybe it was his agent. And like you said, pure speculation.
Yeah.
Joe Douglas did a press conference today.
Yep.
He felt it was necessary today to meet the media and address all the Hassan Reddick situation or the drama.
Yep.
I just thought that was a little strange. He's not known to do many press conferences. He only meets the media a few a few times a year, handful times a year. And normally on a random Thursday during training camp before the season starts is not usually one of them.
No.
So I just thought it was strange. But then again, it is pure speculation. I'm going to put my little investigation skills to knowledge and, try to figure it out. It's going to be fun. So let me know what you guys think. But yeah, with getting down to the 53-man roster real quick.
Yep.
Like you said, the defensive line, it is so underrated right now.
Mm-hmm.
But just look at the 3 undrafted free agents that we retained. And if you look at
McGregor. That's
He's
my
my
dude,
guy.
man. All tatted up, looking like Aiden
McKinley. Yeah. Well, he's not an undrafted free agent, but you guys get the point.
Tiki tack.
We are heading into that second
the other
wave.
guy. You can't forget about Taylor, man.
No,
Leonard
you're right,
Taylor,
you're right.
in
Leonard
which
Taylor.
in one space someone called him the next Warren Sapp. Calm down, man.
I call him LT. He's LT.
The third.
LT the third. Yes.
The third.
We had the second. But
say something. No, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
No, not gonna do it.
we were so good tonight, Dan. We've been so good. So with that being said, though, I think that this is the year that we're going to see Jeff Ulbrich at the end of the season get head coaching opportunities, because now it's in place. We don't have JFM that won a Super Bowl with the Rams.
Right.
We don't have a lot of these guys that have been successful, or at least had NFL success elsewhere. We're having these guys off the streets that the coaching staff saw something in these 3 young men and said, give them to us. Give them to us.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's huge. And it's going to showcase the coaching level, the coaching skills to get these guys, because these guys are going to be playing in games. Like they're not just going to be on the practice squad. They made the 53.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows who the hell they are. If you go up to like a Patriots fan, or if you go up to a Texans fan, and you say, what about Leonard Taylor? He's who?
Right.
You're gonna know who soon. You're gonna know McGregor. So I'm so excited for this. I am super excited for this because, like I said, I think that this is the year, and I'm gonna hate to lose Ulbrich. I'll be very happy for him as long as he doesn't go in. I hope we could keep him. Selfishly.
Do you see a world where, because things happen, man, after the season, hopefully win the Super Bowl and whatever the case is, and maybe it starts unraveling that Saleh isn't what we think? Because I don't look at Saleh as an NFL head coach. I look at him as a fan who pumps his fist. There's no in-game adjustments. The guys that do that is Ulbrich And even Hackett is an offensive coordinator. He has his headphones, whatever. Do you see a
He's
world
starting
where
the coffee for Rodgers this year? You know,
that's
He's
it?
putting in some
Exactly.
sugar.
The Sanka. And where I'm like, you know what? The Jets might look at this and say, you know what? We have a solid defense. And again, it sounds like a hyperbole. It sounds crazy. But the Jets are one of those where you're like, oh, that's a head scratcher. You win the Super Bowl, you fire the head coach, and you promote the defensive coordinator to head coach. It sounds crazy. It sounds nuts. But let's not forget, broken jaw Geno Smith by his own teammate. It in Jets land. And you know what? At that point, I couldn't care less. You win a Super Bowl? Freak it. It is what it is. I'm all for it. Yeah. Ulbrich has been part of this system of learning, of becoming a average defensive coordinator, which he was with Atlanta. He was a middle linebacker for the Niners. And he's there, right? He's right there. And at this point, do we want to lose him? Like, I don't look at him as a Mike Pettini. I don't look at him like that, because the guy who ran the defense with the Jets back in the day was Rex Ryan. It wasn't Mike Pettin. This year, it's not Saleh. Saleh doesn't run this defense. It's Ulbrich. Right. So it. Wait a minute. Listen. No, okay. You basically said we're not going. Well, I mean, no, we'll see. You know what? We got. Hey, Gino, Kisadici, sir. What's going on? Welcome to the.
Welcome back.
Welcome, sir. We're bringing it back.
Old times versus new times right now, right?
What's going on, my man?
What's good, guys? Great interview. That was really awesome. Big fan of Trey. Now, Dan, you pulled these guests out of your ass, bro. I don't know what you do, but it's awesome. Keep going.
It's all.
Dude.
No, I got good connections. Thank goodness.
Yeah, man.
As long as my whole thing is, you live and learn, right, through experience.
Oh, for sure. Every day with that, especially in the stuff that we do, everything is always up and down.
And it's about having good relationships with just people in general, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those where you don't want to say the wrong thing, but at the same time, like, all right, we have you on, right? We're being transparent. We're talking about things. We're shooting questions, and that's what I loved about Trey tonight. He's like, yo, you got a passionate fan base on the chat right now, and as opposed to shying away, he's like, bring them on. B-Mac, yo, facts after facts after facts. And he's just bring him in. And that's one of those things, like a boss, man. Sure. I love that. And that's I think
he said, come on. He took on the entire Jet Nation just now, dude.
Oh, I know. I saw.
Dude,
I respect it, though. Sometimes we got to be put in our place. Not going to lie. Sometimes we got to.
Joe Blute was going at him, dude. Like, every Jet fan's going at this guy. And he goes, bring it on. Like, I respect the how, as much as, like, it upsets me, like, he's not wrong. Sure. He's not wrong. I just hate to hear my team.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It's everything looks good on paper, though. You just got to go on the field now. It has to go on the field now.
And how cool is it, man? Because you and I were doing this with the bad Jet days. You and I were around when we thought that Zach Wilson was good.
Shit. No, I still hate it. I still didn't want him to be honest.
No, I know. You want the Justin Fields. I know.
I got all this shit.
And look at him now.
The number 2 on him. Got them all. Every color you like. Every one of them.
It's just so far we've come now, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, have we?
I just hope
that Liam, let's be real. Have we come far enough? Because last year put us in our place. Last year, 4 plays in, we were like,
we woke up. Yeah.
But are we dreaming or are we up? Because we have to look at this very objectively. The season starts in San Francisco. Then we play against Tennessee. The home opener is on a freaking Thursday night, it's BS. I'm sorry, man. A home opener should not be on a Thursday night. It should be on a Sunday, Monday night, Sunday night
at 1 p.m. Sunday at 1 p.m. Or even Sunday night. Or even Sunday night.
Let me just remind you, the home opener is on a Thursday night on Fireman Ed's 65th birthday, where he becomes a senior citizen. There's some good juju there, man.
So you're saying some luck is going to happen right now? Is that what you're saying? You're channeling
Dude,
some
if
luck.
he's
with that?
old and crippled, I'm picking up that wheelchair, that he's in, the walker, the old man stuff. And, me and him are chugging a beer. I'm telling you. It's against New England, too. So, we're beating the crap out of them. I don't think that's any secret.
I was on the Boy Green show earlier, and he told me, don't go Italy, don't do it. Don't say it. I'm still gonna put it out there, and I don't care if I get hate for this. I hate that we're going in the 49ers, we're facing against Leonard Floyd again, and we're on Monday night again. That's what I hate. That's what I hate. I think it's going to be a better outcome. I still think we're going to win. It's going to be a dogfight to the end. Props to Ayuk. He's back. But I just feel different going into this Monday night. I feel very, very different. But I hate that those scenarios are out there. I hate the scenarios are still there. It's like, I just can't. We haven't like been on the field yet. They can't catch a break. But just going into it, even though it feels different, we still got to deal with that old stuff. That's just always been me, though.
But isn't that part of this whole narrative of changing the same old Jets stigma? We're going to the Niners. They're the best team on the NFC. Beat them. Like I've said in shows past.
And they're banged up too. A lot of those guys are banged up as well.
And Gino, even if they're not banged up, like I'm done with, they're right for the take. Nah, it's the New York Jets. All right.
Yeah. Most unluckiest team in the world.
The draft happened. Joe Douglas has had 5-6 years to build this. The team is built.
Right.
That's it. The team is built. Wherever you look at roster spots, we are set to overtake another team. And now, yes, definitely the Kansas City Chiefs, this and that. But just like I think Sean Bennett said it last year with Zach Wilson, with the old 80s logo at MetLife, we almost beat them. So Kansas City, I know I might be going on a limb here. It is what it is. I couldn't care less.
Go on a limb here. I like it. I like it.
In an all-in year, right? Bring on the Chiefs. Bring them on.
Oh yeah. I'm ready. I'm so ready for them. I don't care if the wide receiver group got better, and they did 100%. But I'm ready. After the offensive line, knocking on the wood with all the injuries. I hope everyone stays healthy because it helps everything. But I don't think I've ever been more ready to go into a season with this stacked of a team because we were missing offense. That's all we've been doing. We've been missing offense. Finally have a backup quarterback. That's why I've been Liam, I've been pounding at that for almost a year and a half now. It feels different. It looks different. Now it all has to be produced on the field. And now we just got to go out there and prove it because everybody in the world, and yes, the world wants us to lose.
Always. I mean, you see all these new wide receivers for the Chiefs. All right, cool. That's great. Hey, guess what? We got Sauce, we got Reed, we got Carter. And I'm going to throw Eccles in there because the guy's going to be looking for a new deal as well.
Now we got Chuck Clark back. X factor this year.
And
game changer. That's for me. I think Chuck Clark's going to be a game changer this year.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's a lot on our side. Maybe the linebacking crew a little bit here and there, but the defensive line that we have is stout. And, looking at the Ayuk signing, that gives me hope. I look at that and say, you know what? Maybe, just like Liam alluded to, maybe today Joe Douglas going on the podium and talking, and he doesn't want the smoke, all this nonsense. He doesn't want that. Woody doesn't want that. Hassan Reddick on that team, on that defense, on that defensive line makes the Jets a different, lethal kind of pass rushing skill, a dynamic that we have not seen. It just brings a different element. So do I see a possibility where Hassan says, all right, you know what? Let's do a 4-year deal. Something where you could just fit him in, or 1 year incentivized. Right now, we'll give you 10 or 11, whatever the case is. You get to 15 sacks. You get to 15. I think they're close, man. I think they're very close, but they're looking at the incentives because him working out and sending that on X and whatnot, Hassan Reddick, that just showcases Like we've gone back and forth, Liam.
Yep.
Football shape. The guy's he's ready. He's probably chomping at the bit saying, this deal is almost done. And not for nothing, if I can get to 15 or 16 sacks, I might get the extra 5 or 6 million that I want, maybe the extra 8. You never know. But the thing is, every game that he misses kind of diminishes that opportunity to get to that kind of set point of 15.
The way that I'm looking at it is he's 100%.
10 plus sacks. Reddick will add up that 10 plus sacks.
The Jets are way better with him, but I don't think they're worse without him, which is the good thing, the exciting thing.
The next man up. The next man up. Right.
And now, do I have my question? Like you remember when we drafted Clemens, how over the moon I was for him. I'm a little down on him just because.
That's a wait to be seen, though. The McDonald.
Right. But I'm excited to see it, though. I'm
excited to see it, but I'm still waiting to see with him. No.
And the other thing I want, and I told you guys both this, a restraining order against Vinny Testaverde at MetLife Stadium.
Oh, Vinny. Love
I'm
Vinny.
sorry, but stay the hell away. Stay the hell away. If he needs to come to my house and sit on my couch and watch it with me, that's fine.
Yes.
But you do not go to MetLife Stadium.
Wow. No. Okay. All right.
No more.
We don't need that bad juju there.
No, we can't. We can't. I mean, Will McDonald? Again, we have to see. Clemens?
I'm a wait and see with McDonald. I believe in him and I like him a lot, but man, I love McGregor, Watts, and Tack, and I feel like I'm missing one more. Taylor. I like what has shown. I love the next man up. I love taking an opportunity that they didn't have, and now they have it. Like this, especially when Reddick is gone. It's JD finding these coaches, man. Not coaches, finding these players out of nowhere. I love it. And McGregor reminds me of Hubbard from the Bengals, that linebacker. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah.
Hubbard.
Yes.
He reminds me of him. Reminds me of Henderson. I think it would be cool. I think it's good.
There's one element of McDonald's game is that spin move, right? And that's a bitch to block.
It's nice,
right?
It's cool to see.
Nice. He just needs that sack, that initial sack that means something, not just garbage time.
It could happen, yes, Ron. It could happen, right? but we just got to see it. There's a lot of people in the fold now, so
got to see, man. I mean, it all starts Monday night. I cannot wait. You guys can't either. We got a show coming up next Thursday night. I think week 1 starts next Thursday night, so we'll stream it.
Yeah, there you go.
On our side here. And again, we're just killing time, man. Killing time until Jet season comes up.
I can't wait.
We definitely. We put the link up. Jet fans, we want to hear from you. Just like Gino, just like all the good ones, man. Just call in, vent. Let us know. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what's on your mind. To the chat, thank you so much for joining us. And just hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. The notification bells. It means a lot to us. We're just trying to expand. We're almost there to 1,000. Again, let's go Jets. Trey Wingo, thank you so much for coming on. Connor, BMAC, everyone. Guys, have a great night, man. And that's right. Holy smokes.
Saints and Annie Saints.
Oh, there you go.
Annie
Love it. Guys, go Jets. Have a good night, everybody.
Ciao.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California Davis. Just 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards taking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80. First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Big draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field, and it's caught by Santana Moss.